My fellow nerds, this is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to, if I remember, Project Eden's Garden. Right, sorry, my mind has been, my memory has been going a little bit because I actually stayed up a little later than I usually do last night, because me and my friends we're playing through Danganronpa 3 V3, and we're actually just getting to the end of it, and we're hoping to finish it today at some point. But I was somehow able to get some ample sleep at the very least, so we're here in Project Eden's Garden. We're one step closer to solving the case that we want to what's it called? Solve, I should say. I am all over the place today, but for now, let's just get on with this part of the case. Another non-stop debate.
So let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs, because the two of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember?
Ed and I checked closet B. Eamon and Kai checked closet C. Eva and Grace checked closet A. And Jean and Mark checked closet D.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. Because the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room immediately after.
Damn it, missed. Just because the killer placed the pin earlier doesn't mean he left before we arrived.
So let me get this straight.
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Mm-hmm.
And then chucked the pin into closet A.
I love that the voices are also fast forward. Did you guys find this part a little funny when you just fast forward the words?
Yeah. Because the killer could run upstairs
Mm-hmm.
immediately starting the pin.
Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, because we heard footsteps before.
Diana, there's proof the killer fled the underground hallway at a later time, when the tournament attendees were looking for a backup generator. Kai and I heard someone run past our room.
Huh?
Oh man, that's right. We were just exploring the closet when all of a sudden we heard footsteps in the hallway. That's when Damon decided he was gonna follow where the footsteps came from and entered the boiler room.
Wait, now that I listen to Kai's voice, why does he sound like Sonic the Hedgehog's voice actor? What was the guy's name again? What was it Roger Craig Smith? He sounds like Roger Craig Smith for some reason. Like, am I the only one that's hearing that? I feel like I'm the only one that's hearing that. Sorry, wrong button.
Anyone else hear these footsteps?
Nope. Not ringing any bells.
Yeah, Jen and me didn't really hear it over all our talking.
I heard the footsteps. Huh? You did? Well, I initially thought it was my imagination, so I never said anything.
Ashamed to say I also brushed off the footsteps. Thought I was hearing things. However, since other people can attest to hearing them.
And someone else was on the underground floor with us.
Before anyone tries to bring it up, none of the tournament attendees could have been the person running. Since everyone explored the closets in pairs, they all have solid alibis.
I'm sure we can all vouch for that, aye?
Everyone was still in their closets after Damon and I found Wolfgang. So,
Considering the footsteps were moving away from the crime scene, I think it's safe to say they belong to the killer.
Wouldn't that mean the killer fled while you guys were exploring the rooms?
Hold up! So the killer had been right next to us?
Boy, that's a given.
Huh? How are you so calm after hearing that? The only thing which stood between us and a murderer was a door. What if they attacked us?
Well, they did it, so I don't see what the problem is.
Sheesh, you're weird.
Why not run away earlier, though? Fleeing while everyone is searching seems really risky.
Maybe it was a miscalculation?
It's not impossible, I guess.
If not that, then maybe the killer returned to the boiler room after discarding the pin?
Sounds pretty meat-headed if you ask me.
Yes, you'd think a killer would use that moment to run away.
For the two who heard the footsteps, describe the sound.
It was kinda socky. As in, it sounded pretty soft. Like the person had taken off their shoes.
Saki, huh? Seems this killer was purposefully trying to keep quiet.
'Cause their footsteps were soft?
That seems like a leap in logic.
No, I get what she's saying. Everyone here has socks on, I'm pretty sure. So any one of us could have run down the hallway. The thing with shoes is, not everyone here has the same kind. If the killer had worn theirs, we might have been able to figure out their footwear from the sound it made on the floor. Then we just have to single out the person with that footwear. Man, it would have been so easy to find the killer.
Honestly, I kind of like how Kai's thinking. He's thinking like it completely outside of the box. Like you never think about these sort of details because you just sort of overlook them with the obvious stuff.
We already can find the killer, though.
Wait, what?
Oi, are you pulling out leg? I'm completely serious. Picture a map of the building complex in your head. The building with the dorms is on the left, the courtyard is in the middle, and the building with the tree is on the right. Now, try and pin everyone's locations during Wolfgang's murder. Once you do that, the identity of the killer will definitely become clear.
Is the killer someone whose position we can't place?
No, it's not about position.
Eh?
Wolfgang's killer can easily lie about their location during the murder. The only thing distinguishing their testimony from everyone else's is that theirs can't be corroborated.
In which case, our killer... Yes, that's right. The only one here who could possibly be the killer is you. Oh! I just have to pick. Okay. Who is a student without an alibi? Okay, wait. So let's think about this real quick. So, I was with Kai. So, 8 of us were searching the basement areas, including John, me, Kai, Ava, Jet, Cassidy, and Grace. Desmond was with Eloise. Ulysses and Jet, Winona, and Desmond were with someone. Mark was with somebody. No, you're kidding me. You're the only one. There's no way. There's no way. Diana, it's you, isn't it?
The makeup girl?
She's the only one here without an alibi. Those of us who attended the tournament can obviously be ruled out. And as for those who didn't, Desmond and Eloise were in the courtyard. Toshiko and Ingrid were in the same dorm room.
What about Winona? She never mentioned an alibi.
Give me a break.
Winona and I were in the building with the tree all morning. In fact, yes, Desmond and Eloise should have witnessed us walking over there. as those two were in the courtyard at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
In that case, Diana really is the only one without an alibi.
Guys, if she's the person who fled the boiler room, those footsteps we heard make a lot more sense. Heels make a pretty loud clop sound on hard floors, and the underground hallway's floor is pretty hard. Diana would obviously want to take them off. Also, heels aren't comfy to run in.
Whoa! I didn't even think of it like that. You're totally right, though. Since Diana's the only one here with heels, she would have to take them off.
Guys, what are you talking about? Me? A killer? Do you really think I could be a killer?
The fact you weren't at the tournament is incriminating enough.
Not just that. Everyone but you has an alibi.
But I do have an alibi, right, Ava?
Huh?
You woke up with me this morning, and you never saw me leave my dorm. During the brief amount of time we were together, I never saw you leave. What you did after I left for the game tournament, however, is anyone's guess.
Ava wanted to help me and Cash set up the tournament, so we told her to swing by early.
For that reason, I left Diana's dorm at 8:05 a.m. I know the exact time since her room has a clock. I probably entered the dining hall around 8:10 a.m.-ish.
So much for an alibi then.
Diana, don't tell me.
Holy smokes, it's all falling into place!
Are we sure there hasn't been some sort of misunderstanding?
It's not possible. Diana can't be the killer. No! I refuse to believe it!
Looks like some people here aren't willing to face the facts. That's not a problem. I'll make them face the facts. Whether they like it or not, soon enough, nobody will be able to deny Diana killed Wolfgang. Ooh! Non-stop debate. Rolling pin, storage closet, blood spots.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife too.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know. Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Did we not already agree? The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well,
Oh.
maybe they had both. The rolling pin in one hand, and the knife in the other.
Dual wielding weapons? Holy, this killer's next level.
That person's point is clearly impossible. They should realize that as much if I point out that piece of evidence. Wait.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the
Wait.
one who left the blood trail?
That's the rolling pin discovered in storage closet A. One of the ends has a small dent. The other has two very clear handprints. It has two handprints. So. On.
Already agree. The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well, maybe they had both. The rolling pin in one hand.
No, that's wrong!
No.
No. The killer was only wielding the rolling during the confrontation with Wolfgang. Oh.
You can tell just from looking at the pin. There are two handprints wrapped around the edge, as if the killer had been holding the pin like a tennis racket. Which makes sense, because you can swing with more force if you use both hands. And that's what a killer wants when trying to knock out a grown man.
Then, who held the knife?
It wasn't the killer, so it was most likely the only other person in the boiler room. Wolfgang Akire.
What the hell are you talking about? Wolfgang, carrying a dangerous weapon? Bullshit!
If you were in his situation, wouldn't you? Wolfgang received an anonymous message asking him to meet in a basement, all whilst in the middle of a killing game. At that point, it doesn't matter how much of an optimist he is. He'd know better than to come unarmed.
A knife isn't super hard to find, either. Wolfgang probably just stole one from the kitchen.
Besides, if Diana is the one who got stabbed, it would explain the blood trail. Think about it. She arms herself with the rolling pin and attacks Wolfgang, getting hurt by him in the process. For some reason, possibly because of the blackout, she doesn't clean the blood trail she's leaving, and returns to her dorm room after.
No! That's wrong!
Huh?
I wasn't stabbed. If I was stabbed, then I'd have an injury. But there's nothing, right? There's nothing on me.
Depends. If a vein got nipped, you'd be seeing blood no matter the size of the cut. Of course, that also means a small cut will need bandaging, which I'm not seeing on you.
You may not see any injuries on Diana, but that doesn't mean they aren't there.
Huh?
If she wanted, she could simply hide her injuries from view. After all, someone like her has exactly what it takes.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. I know where it's going. How did Diana hide her wounds? Her talent.
I got it.
It's all making sense now.
Talent. As the ultimate cosmetologist, Diana could easily cover her wounds.
Oh!
It makes sense. With the right equipment, she could probably disguise even a bandaged wound.
As Diana's bunking partner, I've seen firsthand how many different cosmetics are inside her room. So unfortunately, I have to agree.
Well, Diana, did I get anything wrong?
No. No. But
Wait. Diana, did you just say no? As in, no, you're not wrong that I covered up my wounds? Oh, crap. You guys know what this means, right, guys? Diana basically just confessed!
A confession? Are you for real?
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? Diana got wounded, which proves she got in a fight with Wolfgang, which means all that stuff about Wolfgang going to the boiler room, all that stuff really did happen.
I see. I see now what you're saying. Diana, she lured Wolfgang to the boiler room by writing him that note. And when he arrived, she attacked him and killed him. And now, she's been lying this entire trial, hoping we would never suspect her. How cruel!
Diana, it wasn't me. I promise, it wasn't me.
To think she could preach about friendship after committing a violent crime.
And then try and sentence the rest of us to punishment.
Oh god, this is starting to feel like Kaede all over again.
Golly, you're right. If we voted for the wrong person, we would have been executed.
That's so fucked! Seriously, Diana? What the hell is your damage?
Can we at least hear Diana's side of the story?
Her side?
Well, you know, Diana has... I just think it's fair we listen.
What does it matter what she says? Look at the evidence. This case, it's closed. We know who the killer is. If you really want to ask for Diana's side of the story, then do it after the vote. No.
Vote. That's right. We have to vote for the killer. Diana, I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she's a killer. I've proven it beyond a reasonable doubt, so...
No.
Why is it that when I hear her cry, I get this strange nagging feeling in my chest? Why does a little tiny part of me want to believe that things she's saying? Why all of a sudden do I doubt myself? Ooh. Okay, I want to see this. Nice to know Taylor's gun, Grace's testimony, Toshiko's fetch quest.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room.
Oh, wait. Oh, there was a purple thing there.
She killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us would never learn the truth.
Oh, I missed it. I wanted to absorb one of them.
Trying to keep us together.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
Oh! If you don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
But I
wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent. Why didn't I see you for who you were?
Ooh, okay. So I can break them by shooting them like that.
What are we waiting for then? Let's get this over with and vote.
Is Diana telling the truth? How is that possible when I already know the truth? I want to absorb one of the things. I think we just go with the. I think we should just go with the regular contradiction. Yeah, I think just look at the evidence itself. Can't be possible. Not unless.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room. Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on. Grace, you're overlooking a crucial detail. Do you recall the note I found in Wolfgang's blazer pocket? It asked him to meet in the boiler room at 8:15 a.m. But, according to the Tozu tablet, he died over an hour later at 9:35 a.m. That means Wolfgang didn't die right after he got to the boiler room.
What's your point?
My point is that the killer had no reason to lure Wolfgang to the boiler room and then wait over an hour to kill him. There's no guarantee another person won't enter the room during that time. It's in the killer's best interest to be in and out of there as fast as possible. When we originally discussed the note, we lacked the context to properly understand this time discrepancy. But if we go with your idea that Diana killed Wolfgang immediately, then that discrepancy becomes all too clear.
How do you know Wolfgang didn't just arrive late?
He was already on his way when I ran into him at 8:10 a.m. He must have arrived on time.
Same goes for the killer. I doubt Wolfgang would stay in the boiler room for long if no one came to meet him. For that reason, we can assume Wolfgang was knocked unconscious soon after he arrived. But there's such a long period of time between him being knocked out and him being killed. Unless you want to tell me he and Diana were in an hour-long struggle, then I'm sure there's more to the mystery here.
Shut the fuck up!
Jesus. Okay. Not sure why Grace is being so emotional about this.
What's wrong with you? Don't you see this is a trick? All of Diana's blubbering and crying is just a farce to make us think she's innocent.
I wouldn't fall for a farce like that. My only concern is the evidence not adding up.
If you're still not convinced Diana is the killer, then let me show you something you overlooked. I call it undeniable fucking proof!
Rebuttal showdown.
I don't give a damn what Diana says. Not only is she the one person without an alibi, the blood from her wounds places her inside the exact same room where Wolfgang died. How could the killer be anyone but her?
Grace seems to think more of the crime scene than I do. But if that were true, she would have already realized the flaw in her argument.
I don't give a damn what Diana says. Not only is she the one person without an alibi, the blood from her wounds places her inside the exact same room where Wolfgang died. How can the killer be anyone but her?
Cool. Yeah, let's go, baby. Advance. All right, I got this.
Diana lured Wolfgang downstairs. Why would she take over an hour to kill him? It doesn't make sense. Not when there's a risk of someone else entering the boiler room.
What risk? Diana wouldn't have to worry about anyone walking in because she could just lock the fucking door.
Through your words. Dude, this game is so freaking cool.
The boiler room door can't be relied upon here. If Diana locked it, she would be trapping herself inside the boiler room.
What?
The doorknob has been flipped so that the keyhole faces inside, while the lock faces outside. Had you investigated the crime scene more closely, you might have realized this detail sooner. In any case, locking the door would lock everyone inside the room. If Diana was the killer, she'd be better off leaving the door open.
How the heck do you even flip a doorknob? Sounds like something only a tradesperson could do.
Meh. You really think so? Swapping a doorknob is easy. Well, last time I did anything like it was a while ago, but everyone here knows knobs are screwable, right? If you get a screwdriver and know what you're doing, you can rotate the doorknob quick smart.
If you can swap a doorknob, then I guess anyone can.
Right on.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Wait, are you saying that like it's a bad thing, or?
Is that why Diana remained in the boiler room after Wolfgang died? She had been locked inside?
What do you make of the footsteps then? If they were Diana's, it would imply she escaped the boiler room. How do you suppose she did that?
Diana's way of escaping the boiler room, huh? From the evidence in the boiler room, I'm fairly confident I could deduce a method. Oh. I mean, there's only one thing I could think about. A thin piece of metal.
This is it.
Near the boiler room door, I discovered a thin piece of metal. At first glance, it didn't look important, but if you were to fold it in half, theoretically, it would look like a hairpin.
Ah, she used the classic maneuver, picking a lock with a hairpin. It can be done, it just takes a bit of practice.
Diana probably had this hairpin inside her makeup bag, so she used it to fiddle with the lock until it eventually came undone. Which, judging by the timing of her footsteps, happened late into the blackout.
Messing with a lock in pitch blackness. Whew. Now that would be impossible for me.
Right. Even if Diana did access light, like through the Tozu trinket, undoing the lock would still be difficult. Way too difficult of a situation to deliberately put herself in.
In which case, that can mean only one thing. Because someone... I'll leave the boiler room. Because someone else locked the door.
I got it.
Someone else must have locked the door. If we go off our current train of thought, the doorknob was rearranged so you could only lock it from the outside. It doesn't make sense for Diana to rearrange the lock, enter the room, and deliberately trap herself inside, which means someone else must have locked the door. I know this doesn't necessarily clear Diana's suspicion, but it's strange enough to warrant further investigation.
I'd rather resolve this thread before we move on to voting.
Agreed. We could easily miss something important if we turn our noses away.
So, why did this mystery person close the door in the first place?
What if they saw the scuffle between Wolfie and Diana and closed the door to protect themselves?
Instead of seeking help?
You say that like closing the door isn't exactly what you would do.
What kind of asshole do you take me for?
Any chance they locked it to prevent Diana from escaping?
And somehow unscrewed the doorknob without drawing attention to themselves?
Didn't you hear him? He's talking about the door being locked, not the doorknob being unscrewed.
Unless two entirely different people just so happen to interfere with the boiler room at two entirely separate intervals. The one who locked the door is most likely the one who flipped it, yes?
Yes.
Then you should be wondering the same thing. How did they unscrew the doorknob without catching anyone's attention?
Doesn't sound possible.
Not in the moment, it isn't. But what if the doorknob had been swapped beforehand? Say this person knew Wolfgang and Diana were coming to the boiler room. They could have swapped the knob in advance, waited for Diana and Wolfgang to enter, and then closed and locked the door.
So the flipping of the doorknob was premeditated?
With what we currently know, I'd wager it's our safest assumption, at least until we hear Diana's side of the story.
Diana, since you were the last person with Wolfgang, your testimony could be our most valuable piece of evidence yet. You need to tell me what happened. If not for me, or for you, then at the very least, do it for Wolfgang's sake.
I'm sorry. I'm really
Aww.
I wanted to help. I wanted to make everything okay. But all I could do was be useless. All I could do was watch him die. It's all my fault. All my fault. For doing the wrong thing.
So is this a confession, or...
No!
Huh?
I didn't kill Wolfgang. And I don't know who did. But I still failed him as a friend. I failed him then. And I failed him here. But if I told the truth, things would be worse than they already are. But now that I've said nothing...
Diana watched Wolfgang die?
It's okay, sweetheart. Come on now, take deep breaths.
Yeah, we'll believe you no matter what you say.
It's looking like Diana might actually be innocent. It's looking like that, but the nagging feeling in my chest still hasn't gone away. Damn it. What am I doing? Because of one girl, I've been doubting myself and jumping from one argument to another. If I can't piece together my own thoughts, how can I possibly piece together this case? I need to get a grip on myself. I need to keep sight of myself and the goal of this killer. Whatever is thrown at me next, I need to preserve. Because if I don't, if everyone here votes wrong, I won't leave this place alive.
Has all this murder hubbub left your head in a tizzy?
Uh.
Perhaps you need a short break. Something to lighten the mood and let you collect yourself. Something like a nice cup of tea.
Oh?
Welcome, one and all, to the first episode of Tozu's Tea Time.
Cute. Okay, so it's kind of like Tozu Theater? Tozu's Tea Time. That sounds adorable.
If you haven't already, please sit back and relax. Here, we do not use our brains, but deal only in gossip. Now, a question from me to you. What are sheep good at, if anything? Most humans, and some sheep, tend to respond with a resounding absolutely nothing. Sheep cannot create art or invent medicine. For goodness sake, they can't even perform music.
I mean, they could be good detectives. Well, sheep detective they could.
Their limited speech and quadrupedal locomotion prevents them from reaching the heights of humans. They're practically glued to the lower echelons of the food chain. No matter how hard sheep may try, they will never be anything more than their number tags. I can't say I like that answer. Too pessimistic for me. Plus, what of the sheep who still try? The sheep who realize their fate but continue to challenge it all the same. That they can be so determined to prove their worth when humans have all but deemed them microwavable meals. Isn't that something admirable? What a shame our sheep had to be so misguided. It seems that's about all the time we have. Thank you again for attending Tozu's Tea Time. No need for extravagant farewells. I've an inkling you'll be back for tea sooner than you can say Jack Robinson. Who's Jack Robinson? I have no idea. Ta-ta!
Okay, sure, but that doesn't really relieve anything.
Chance to defend yourself. Tell me what happened.
Where do I even start, though?
How about you begin by explaining why you went to the boiler room?
Why I went there? It was because of a note.
A note?
2 days ago, someone slid one into my room. I never got to see who. I just heard a knock. And when I walked over, there was a note under my door.
I don't remember any of this.
Sorry. It was midday-ish, and you weren't there at the time. And I didn't show you the note later because, well, I'll just read you what it said.
Anna, as you are aware, it is our obligation to speak with those who have blackmail we have attained. After receiving your blackmail and reading the information disclosed in it, I believe a meeting between the two of us is warranted. In 2 days' time, please come to the underground boiler room at 8:45 a.m. Make sure to arrive promptly and close the door behind you. To avoid disclosure, do not show anyone this letter. Do not approach me about it either, even in private. There is always a chance someone can hear. Wolfgang.
Wolfie wrote this?
Wolfgang had Diana's blackmail? But didn't he have Jean's?
Hold on a sec. If you take a closer look, the handwriting on that note, doesn't it resemble the handwriting on Wolfgang's note?
You're actually right. Even though Wolfgang's note has been water damaged, the words I can make out were in the same messy scroll as Diana's here.
Then someone else was posing as Wolfgang?
The killer, most likely. They must have thought his word was the only one Diana would follow.
Guess it worked, huh?
I didn't want to show this note earlier because I was scared of how people would try to twist it. Like saying I faked the note, or that I decided to kill because of it. I thought it would be better to just stay quiet. I know you guys think I'm stupid for agreeing to meet in a place like the boiler room. And I am. I am stupid. I just didn't want to disappoint Wolfgang, in case he really did write the note, which was why I left my room around 8:40 a.m. and went downstairs.
Did you catch any strange movement down there?
No, it was just me. I did find the boiler room door hanging open a little bit, but I didn't think much of it. I just went inside and closed the door behind me, since that's what the note asked me to do.
What did you see inside the boiler room?
The boiler room was really dark. So the first thing I noticed was actually the security camera light. My eyes had to take a few seconds to adjust to everything else. But after that, I finally saw him. Wolfgang was lying in the water, making these weird noises. It didn't seem like he'd even notice me entering the room. Not until... Wolfgang? Hearing his name seemed to snap him out of his trance, because he slowly rose to his feet. Wolfgang, are you okay?
It's you.
Huh?
I can't believe it. I really am finally meeting you.
What do you mean?
Please,
Ooh.
forgive me.
Dude, he looks so much worse for wear.
Please forgive me for what I've become.
Wolfgang?
Despite how hard I tried, how much I wanted it to be true, I could never become you. I will always be a failure.
It's okay, Wolfgang. Look! There's stairs over here. Come over here and we can get out. I have no idea if he didn't hear me, or if he was just ignoring me. But, okay. I'll get closer to you then. I went over to the ledge of the platform, the part where the fence had a gap. Just take my hand, okay? And I'll pull you out. He slowly stumbled over, and he held my hand. I didn't really think I could pull him out. I just wanted to be there for him. It was the best I could do, because I didn't want to enter the water. Staying on the platform felt so much safer. And I really, really hate that it did. It's okay, Wolfgang. We'll get through this together, all right? I was looking at him when I said that. I was looking right at him. But somehow I didn't think to react.
He had the knife.
And he reached inside his blazer.
What? No shot.
Bring her back. Bring her back!
I tried to leave the room, but the door was locked. I didn't know what to do. I started looking around for things to defend myself with. And that's when I saw the gun.
The taser gun? Did you use it?
I took the taser, and I aimed it at Wolfgang, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't shoot him. I just backed away from him. I couldn't understand anything. Why was this happening to me? Why was I being attacked? Why can't I do anything to...
I'm not like you. I'll never be like you. I won't give up until the world. I won't give up until everyone knows me.
All of a sudden, everything turned white. Everything in front of me. Except Wolfgang. In those few seconds, he became pitch black. And then, so did everything else. Even though I didn't see Wolfgang fall over,
I heard it. His body cracking against the pavement, and his knife falling into the water. I waited for the gasp of pain, for him to groan or mumble or say something. But there was nothing. There was just me and the silence. That's how it happened.
What the fuck?
That man attacked you?
Oh my goodness, Diana, I'm at a loss for words.
This is getting too much for me, bros. I think I'm gonna faint.
Holy shit. So Diana really did watch Wolfgang die.
Why was he so violent towards her? It's like he became an entirely different person.
The words you're looking for is crazy. Despite how hard I tried and how much I wanted it to be true, I could never become you. Why would Wolfgang say those words in that particular moment?
How'd you manage to escape the boiler room after all that?
By picking the door's lock.
For reals?
I wasn't even thinking. I just started feeling my way back to the door in the dark. And then, well, my supply bag. I remembered the spare hairpins I always kept inside. So I felt around the bag and dug one out. To be honest, I have no idea how I managed to unlock the door. The whole thing was repeated trial and error. Just minutes of me telling myself that somehow this next attempt will finally work.
Whoa! Actually unlocking the doors. That's like hitting a bullseye blindfolded.
Now we know why it took so long for her to escape.
I realized why it happened. Getting trapped inside, I mean. The door's lock was on the outside. So, someone must have set the lock before I came downstairs. So that when I closed the door, I'd be trapped.
The lock is normally on the inside too. The killer purposely flipped it, then left the door open so you would be the one to close it. That's for why the killer locked the door to begin with.
It was to frame Diana, right?
Right. The killer made Diana trap herself inside the boiler room, so they could kill Wolfgang in front of her, and force her to remain by his body. Had their plan worked, Diana would only be able to escape if someone from outside entered the boiler room, by which point, that someone would be stumbling across what looks like a cut-and-dry murder case.
If the tournament folk found Diana, they would have been playing right into the killer's hands.
Speaking of which, Diana, I'm curious to know, did you unlock the door before or after the tournament attendees arrived downstairs?
It sort of happened at the same time. Like, when I opened the door, there were already people walking down the stairs. Obviously, I couldn't stay inside the boiler room. If anyone saw me close to Wolfgang's body, it would look really bad. The hallway was a bit easier to make out in the dark. So I walked over to a wall bordering one of the storage closets and hid behind it. And stayed as quiet as possible. I was still bleeding a little from Wolfgang's cut though, and some of that blood ended up dripping onto the floor around me.
That explains it.
It's the blood on the underground floor! It's all coming together!
This was shortly before us tournament goers split up. And you made a run for it, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Down the hallway, up the stairs, and then as quietly as possible into my room. Since everything was still really dark, I had to patch myself using the Tozu Trinket's projection as my light. I realize this is a lot, and I know it's hard to believe without proof. So, if you guys could just give me a second.
Reaching into her makeup bag, Diana pulled out a wipe and began scrubbing at her arm.
I cleared up the blood pretty fast. Luckily for me, the cut wasn't that deep. There's still a chance it may leave a scar, though.
Holy crap!
okay. I'll cover it back up again.
Why did Wolfgang attack you for no reason?
I wouldn't say it was for no reason.
You're being kind of insensitive, man.
Huh? I didn't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is, Wolfgang's actions may look random from an outsider's perspective, but from his perspective, well, judging by his behavior, it seems like he saw something which shook him to his core.
Like, there was something in the room that Diana didn't see?
That's impossible! It was only me and Wolfgang in the boiler room.
I don't believe Jean meant it in a literal sense.
Wolfgang literally saw something?
He thought he saw something, is my point.
You mean he had been hallucinating?
What did Wolfgang hallucinate for him to turn out the way Diana described?
You'd be surprised by the sort of things our minds can invent. I'm lucky to have never experienced anything myself, but I know some who have hallucinated nasty things. Demons and monsters. Or the feeling of being tortured. If Wolfgang went through something similar, I can see why he lashed out.
Now what the heck is going on at sea?
Of course, these hallucinations don't just happen out of the blue. More often than not, they're substance-induced.
Substance-induced?
Just say Wolfgang took a hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenics?
One which induced a lot of fatigue, too, judging by the way he lumbered about in Diana's account.
It would explain why Wolfgang mostly stayed in one place.
One place, which happened to be in the water.
Seems very deliberate. Aye. I reckon the killer knocked Wolfgang unconscious in order to drag him into the water, but knew he would eventually wake up again. So they drugged him with something which would basically make him despondent. As for where the drug came from...
Oh no! Don't tell me the killer robbed...
I knew exploring it was a bad idea.
It? What's this it we're talking about?
The pharmacy, obviously. Why the heck did we think leaving that place open was a good idea? Now someone's stolen an item and drugged Wolfgang. Fuck! I knew our promise was too good to be true! I can't trust any of you guys! And don't say Wolfgang drugged himself! Who wants to be tortured by demons?
Well, stranger people do exist.
That's rich coming from you!
It's just as they predicted. Exploring the pharmacy ended up paving the way for murder. Should I have made more of an attempt to stop people from exploring? Back then, all I did was... Then again, nobody would have listened to me. Especially not with Wolfgang in control.
If we know where the perpetrator got their chemicals, I guess our next step is figuring out how they did the drugging?
Agreed. It would help us better understand the timeline of events, and potentially even validate Diana's testimony.
Sounds like you guys can leave this one to me. I'm the kind of person who knows someone back to front the moment I meet them. If you haven't already realized, I've gone and read this killer like an open book.
You're the last person I trust to reach a correct conclusion.
Just you wait! The second you hear what I gotta say, you'll be eating those words.
Alright, well then. But before he says that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video here for now. This has been a crazy class trial already. I genuinely love how this class trial is going. The story is super well written so far. But I'm out of time for today. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.